The more exposure that people have to other people, ideas, and cultures that are foreign to them, the more they'll break down stereotypes or they'll get knowledge about these people. What's interesting about students, and many of you are Turkish students, is that students coming from Turkey to study in America are the 8th largest group of international students, according to a 2008 report by the Institute of International Education. So, for many Americans, you yourselves, you Turkish students who mingle with Americans, you provide the only exposure they may get in their lifetime to Turkey. It's hard to believe, but it's true. So you have to be ambassadors of your country and have those teaching moments. So for the Americans in the audience who have not been to Turkey, this is my teaching moment for you. Let me begin with a little bit of geography. Turkey is a Eurasian country spanning 2 continents. It's bordered by the Black Sea, Aegean Sea, and the Mediterranean, and is the 37th largest country in size. Geographically, Turkey forms a natural bridge between the Old World continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe. The Anatolian Peninsula is the westernmost point of Asia, divided from Europe by the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Strait. Thrace is the western part of Turkey on the European continent. A significant aspect of Turkey's topography is that it's a small-scale continent in many respects. Above all, with respect to climate and temperature, some vary in terms of 24-hour periods, can vary as much as 20 degrees centigrade. During the spring months, it's not unusual to find weather typical of 2 or even 3 seasons at different locations around Turkey in a single day. The Mediterranean coast may be enjoying summer heat, while the temperate Black Sea region gets as much as very much precipitation. So these wide variations affect the Turkish topography. I'd like to turn to some pictures of different places. The first is the Bosphorus, the body of water that separates, that connects Turkey or creates the border between the European side and the Asian side. Next is one of my favorite sites is the Hagia Sophia. It's a former basilica, later a mosque, and now it's a museum in Istanbul. Famous in particular for its massive dome, it is considered the epitome of Byzantine architecture. And it was the largest cathedral in the world for nearly 1,000 years, until about 1520. And in 1453, Constantinople or Istanbul was conquered by the Ottoman Turks, and they ordered the building to be converted into a mosque, and it remained so until 1935. So if you go to the Hagia Sophia, you'll see that there's, the preservation of the mosque, there's preservation of the church. It's very, very interesting and well worth seeing. Another site that's one of my favorites, and you can get a boat tour here, is Ortaköy, which literally means middle village in Turkish. It's a neighborhood, formerly a small village within the Beşiktaş district of Istanbul, located in the middle of the European bank of the Bosphorus. Very nice neighborhood. It's a popular spot for locals and tourists alike, art galleries, nightclubs, nice restaurants, and you can pick up a boat tour there along the Bosphorus. It's fabulous. Here's another view, which I like this picture, where you're really contrasting. This really is the epitome of Turkey in my mind. It's the old and the new, where you see this Ortaköy mosque, and in the background you see Levent 4, which is the development of the economic industry. The financial industry in Turkey is really in that area with the high-rises. So when you go to Turkey, you really see the old and the new juxtaposed against each other. Next site is Dolmabahce Palace, which is also along the Bosphorus. It's in Istanbul, located on the European side, and served as the main administrative center of the Ottoman 1853 to 1922, apart from a 20-year interval in which Yıldız Palace was used. And this is where Ataturk actually spent his last days, living days. And it's a nice place to go visit and take a tour. There's many palaces. This is one of the most elegant palaces. Next, also still in Istanbul, is a shot of Taksim Square. Again, you can see the train which runs in the middle. There's also a nice high-speed subway in Istanbul, which might surprise you. And so again, a juxtaposition of the old and the new. Another great place for me is the Grand Bazaar. It's one of the largest covered markets in the world, with more than 58 streets, over 1,200 shops, and has between 250 and 400,000 visitors daily. And it was constructed in 1455 and was also enlarged in a little more in the 16th century. So it's still today functions as an excellent shopping place. But beware, buyer beware, go with the Turk and don't speak English, then you'll get a better deal on the ride. Next, I'm going to take you to Ephesus, which is along the Aegean coast. And Ephesus was an ancient Greek city on the west coast of Anatolia in the region known as Iona during the classical Greek period. It lies about 3 kilometers southwest of the town of Selçuk, and it's really, you have to see this. It's just amazing, the ancient ruins there. One of my recommendations, however, is to go when it's not the middle of summer. When it's summer, it's very, very hot. The best time to go here is in May or in September in the fall, or in the spring. But in the summer, it gets very hot. But it's really amazing that this ancient Greek city is still preserved. And there are places like this all throughout Turkey. It's a kind of thing that if you're an American and you've never traveled to Turkey, or even, I'm so surprised sometimes that many Turks that I meet haven't seen all these wonderful sites in their own country. But it's definitely one of the places that you have to see. If you go to Turkey, you're going to find there's so much to see there that you have to go back again. Next slide is another shot of Ephesus. And then I'm going to move you to Bodrum, which is a city also along the Aegean Sea. The center is actually a castle that has an aquarium. And Bodrum is what I've been told by a friend of mine. Bedroom is some nickname for it. It's a hot spot in terms of nightlife. Bodrum gets started at 11 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. And there's just so many bars and restaurants, and it's hard to describe. It's hard to do justice. You have to go. This is Antalya. This is one of the places I haven't been, but I just was struck. I was looking for pictures to show you. This just makes me want to go to Turkey right now and go to the beach. It's another shot of Antalya, and Bodrum is very similar in terms of topography. You have the mountains, and then you come abruptly to this beautiful coast, this beautiful sea. Next is Pamukkale, which means Cotton Castle in Turkish. It's a natural site and attraction in southwest Turkey in the Denizli province. It's located in the Inner Aegean region